Right, I'm going to answer a question that I've been asked, and it's quite an important question really. It's a really important part of fishing, and I fished a recent Anthony Nolan festival at Southfield, and a couple of people noticed on the first day I fished with the rod to my left, and on the next 2 days I fished with the rod to my right. So why do I do that? Well, it's pretty simple. The toe on a fishery is really important, and what you find out is I like the toe, and it's usually caused by the wind. And what you find out, if it's going left to right on this bank, it'll be going right to left on the other bank, otherwise it'll all finish in that car park just there. So all I'm going to do is I'll look for the toe. I think it's really important. It's part of things I do. So the positioning of the rod is really important to me, really important. So on the Monday the toe was left to right, so I fished it to the left, so I'm putting the tip into the toe, not the wind, into the toe of the lake. On the other days the toe was from right to left, so what I do, I put it into the toe. That's what I do. I like to put my tip a bit like a river. I like to put the rod upstream of a river, and I do on a still water with the toe. So if we get perfect conditions with no toe on a still water and it's perfect, what I always do, I like to fish hands free. I like to put it to my left. I like to put it on 2 rod rests, one there and one there, so I'm not touching the rod. It's called hands free. And what I'm going to do then is just sit there, get a bite, pick it up. My hands are free, I can feed my other lines, I can do what I want. However, when I'm holding the rod I don't like to do that. So if I'm catching lots of fish, like other week when I was in Spain, I caught all them fish, I was holding the rod, so it was always to my left, because my arm's bent and I can just pick it up dead easy. It's because I'm holding the rod, it's different. And so all I'm trying to do is just to strike, because my arm's already bent and I'm holding the rod. It's easier to hold the rod when you're fishing. However, them's not perfect conditions. You know, we're fishermen, aren't we? You know, we don't fish to perfect conditions all the time. And you can see today it's really windy, so it's perfect to explain what it's about. So the first thing I do when I get to my peg, I put a bomb on, I cast it out, and I look to see which way the line on the tip is. I look to see which way it is. So whichever way the toe is going, in this instance it's going from right to left. So I'm going to fish my rod to my right today, because it's into the toe, not the wind, the toe. And it's really important. So what I'm looking at, when I put my rod down, I'm looking for the angle there. I'm looking, so even if you go to the side of it like this, you can see from there it's actually going to my left. Otherwise it would be almost like a circle. Your tip would be going the other way. Now that's really important for me, the way that I fish. So if the toe was left to right today, I would put it that way. I would put my rod the other way around, but it's not. So for me it's perfect, because I can use my hands free, and I can actually put my rod to my left. Now then, so why do I do it that way? Well, it's quite simple really. It's about the bites. What I'm looking for is the bites, liners, things like that. What I'm looking for, because it's not going, you get ding ding ding, little indicator. I'm looking for them all the time, and when I get a bite hopefully it'll go like that, and that's what I'm looking for. But when the line is going the other way, you don't get that. You don't get them indications, you don't see them the same. Now, the other thing you might say, well, you've got your rod to the side. Well, I have, that's how I fish. I like to fish my rod to the side. I like to see the pull and the indications of the tip. Most people put the rod out in front of them. To be honest with you, I don't quite get that. I don't see liners, I don't see indications. I don't read my swim correctly. Now, you might say I'm a bit old school. Yeah, I probably am. I ain't got a problem with that. But that's what I prefer to do. It's just my way. So, I use the toe to my effect. Now then, sometimes it pulls round like ridiculous on here especially, and you get that, and it's so what you do then, you go to your reel, find it, and just backwind, and you backwind to your tip slack. And then if it pulls round again like that, you just backwind it a little bit to your tip slack. And what'll happen is the toe will keep picking it up, it'll keep picking it up, and it'll just slacken down, because what happens is then the braid or the nylon goes under the surface area and goes deeper, and there's not as much pull on the bottom. It might be a bit different here at Southfield because it's shallow, but in deeper water it'll just straighten up. And because your line's tight, you're still going to get your bites and your indications. But that's just my way. But like today, you can see it's windy. There's nearly always going to be a tow when it's like this, and it's just my sort. When you get to your match and you're not sure, sometimes you can look at the bits on the top and they're going against it or going with it. You can tell we're rubbish on the surface. But if you can't, just put a bomb on, because you can't normally put a feeder on. Cast it out, just put it down and just watch which way it goes. Then that's when I decide I'm going to put my box down, when I'm going to put my rod rest, and it's just perfect for me. But that's what I do. I like to use the conditions in my favour. I don't like to just be a one-trick pony where I just put rod in front and whatever happens. But even if you put your rod in front of you, you can actually put it to right or left a little bit. Depends on the tow. So you can put it there or there, depends on the tow, and you'll get a better angle and you'll see more indications and liners. Like I said, it's only my way. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but that's my way. But I use the tow. I think it's really important. I also think the tow is important for fish feeding. I think it turns them on more than turns them off. And we've always said bream fishing, there's no better than a wind, and I think that's one of the reasons that it stirs fish up. So just my way, perfect conditions, I have it to my right, and if I'm holding the rod I have it to my left. But if it's not perfect conditions, and let's face it, most fishermen it's not perfect conditions, then I use the tow, and I always look at the tow, not the wind. It's not about the wind, it's about the tow. And the only time I ever change from that is if it's freezing, and I might go downstream because I'm getting old, and I might just put it downstream just to keep warm. But it's just what I do. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I hope it helps you in your fishing.